FAVMI presents Unfolding Mental Illness, hosted by Saraswati Suresh.
Hello, everyone. Family's Voice on Mental Illness is back with another episode on Unfolding Mental Illness. We are also the Western Zone of Families Alliance on Mental Illness, FACEME, founded by Dr. Nirmala Srinivasan. Through our episodes, we aim to support family caregivers who are tending to their loved ones with mental health conditions. We also strive to educate families about mental health, providing them with valuable tools and resources. If you are a family caregiver seeking guidance, understanding, and community support, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at favme.in. I am Saraswati Suresh, founder of FAVME and the host, and my co-host is Dr. Sachin Ganorkar, the founder member and director of FAVME. And our topic today is Beyond the Diagnosis, Strength, Spirit, and the Journey. Our guest today needs absolute no introduction in the mental health space and is a guiding person to many, many family carers like me and Dr. Sachin. It is an absolute honor to have him with us. He's a father of a daughter living with diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia for the last 3 decades. And he used his life experiences to bring to the attention of the larger society. He has synthesized his caregiving and his own and others' experiences into a book named Mental Illness and Caregiving. And he has been trying to change the legislation and the social welfare measures in India. He has been the president of SA, the Schizophrenia Awareness Association. He has been part of NIMHANS Bangalore, ILS Pune, the chairman and member of Ethics Committee, and most important, he has been on the committee of experts to frame the rules and regulations for the Mental Health Care Act 2017. He's also been associated with WHO, and his list is amazing. It's amazing to see that how he has changed a challenge in his life into an opportunity and is helping so many families even at this age. We welcome you, Mr. Bakhshy, and it's absolutely an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, Saraswati ji, and it's my pleasure to come on your show. Thanks again for inviting me.
And as we start our conversation today, we'll first start with your journey, which started, I think, in 1991 onwards with your daughter. Could you just give us a little brief? Can you walk us through the years? How did you first realize what help she needed and what steps did you take?
It is true that in 1991, the first episode occurred. It was triggered, the illness was triggered that time. But as you know that casting event, this coming event cast their shadow before. So I would say that we are not able to understand that what is happening, these casting shadows have some meaning and we have to be careful. And but it's now we tell caregivers to notice small things when you have children. How do they behave? Is there any change in their behavior? So in my daughter's case also, when she was in school, the grades had started falling. And I tried to convince myself that every child cannot be among first 5 or first 10. So maybe she's not good in studies, so we have to accept that. And used to work with her, help her in her homework. And my office at that time was in Nariman Point. And I had also joined some 2 years course in personal management in Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So I would from office, I would go to Churchgate in my car, park the car there, take the train up to Dadar, and from Dadar the institute's bus will pick us up, attend 2 hours program, the sessions, the classes, and then come back 9:30 or so, and then sit with my daughter and help her in her homework. So that was the routine 2 years, and thereafter, of course, I was having free time in the evening, and I used to sit and help her so that at least she moves to the higher class. So, I mean, I try to help her in other activities if she's not good in studies. Then this horse riding, tennis coaching, guitar learning, some tutor was coming, and various other dance, that is Bharat Nat, Kathak, Bharat Nat. Mhm. So all these things were tried, but it didn't move further. So that was accepted, and but when she was in 8th standard, then school told us that she is not doing well, grades are falling, so promoting her to next class may not be possible. So we were thinking what to do, change her school. Uh, I was living in Kolaba, and Fort, her school was in Fort. So she was in the middle school. Then my wife, she was working with a group of hotels, and she got her transfer to their unit in London. So then for me, it was difficult to keep the child, teenager she was by then, with me, because I used to go out for my office work in the parliament and all, when there were question hours, we were going and helping the minister. Manmohan Singh was the minister. So then we thought of putting her in a boarding school in Dehradun. So we put her there, and some tuitions and all were arranged. And she was going to the higher classes. And then in 12th standard, when she was there, some 2-3 months before her exams, one late afternoon, I got a call uh, from the principal of the school. I was in my office at that time in World Trade Center, that come immediately, your daughter is not well. So I rushed. I mean, I took a evening flight to Delhi. From Delhi, I hired a taxi, went to her school in the morning. Whole night we traveled. And my wife was, of course, in London at that time, and met the principal. She called other staff also, and they said that it was nervous breakdown. I mean, they also did not understand mental illness, uh, but they had taken her to a psychiatrist, and psychiatrist gave her the correct medicine. The first generation medicines at that time were there, so she recovered from that. That was a good thing. And, 2 days I stayed, and then I came back because her exams were there, so she has to stay in the hostel. Uh, she appeared in the exam, her hands were stiff, so she was given a writer also. Uh, Exams were over, she came back to Bombay, and then I was to consult a psychiatrist in Bombay. I, of course, also did not understand her illness, schizophrenia it was. The psychiatrist in Dehradun had written that. So I went to a psychiatrist, some friend, some officer in my office knew him. So we went, and he said that, see, this is a single episode that has occurred. It will not happen again, and these medicines are very strong, and they have side effects. And he described the horrors of side effects. And he said, don't give her any medicine. You can keep a watch on her.
Mhm.
There is a problem, you can come back to me. And then after some time, our condition started deteriorating. And then he was not available, only his phone answering machine was there, and he was never available. And then her admission for higher studies, we were worried. I mean, we didn't know that studies are now no more important. Her recovery is important. So she had some flair in arts, drawing, painting, etc. She was good, and her mother was very very good. So she got it from her mother. I was zero in that. So we were trying her admission in some college where she can pursue her interest in art or design. At National Institute of Design, she appeared. She didn't qualify, and I didn't realize at that time that any stressful professional course is not right for her. There
Hmm.
is too much of stress. So ultimately, she got admission in Baroda University, the Faculty of Arts. So she got admission in Applied Arts. So we put her there, and she was in hostel. And then I found that she was spending too much money. She was asking for money, more money, more money. What was she doing with that? And then some of her senior students came and met me in my office. They were doing some show and raising some funds. And my daughter told them that I can help them. So they came and I asked them, how is she? And then they said, sometime it is a strange behavior and she misses her classes also. So I got worried. I went to Baroda, saw her condition, and then some other work I had in Ahmedabad. I did that and came back. And we told the dean that we will withdraw her. Because
Ha.
it was happening that she had started smoking along with those African girls who were there, and they were drinking also, and they were sending her to go and buy the liquor. And Gujarat is a dry state.
Correct.
This is a highly illegal thing. So we decided to bring her. I had local guardians. I told them that you send her back by air. We will receive her. So, but what they did is they sent her by train, some second class compartment. She had no money. They didn't even give her some money to have her meal. Or, so somebody bought her a snack there. Somebody tried to make overtures, and then we told them that she should get down at Dadar. My wife will receive her. So she did not get down at Dadar. My wife was worried. She told me I was most worried. What happened? She didn't get down. Has she come in the train? They said yes. They put her in the train. Then she got down at VT, and she had no money, so she took a taxi, came to World Trade Center, and came to my office, and said that taxi fellow has to be paid. So I sent my secretary. She went and paid the taxi fellow, and I brought her home. She was very garishly dressed, and she was unwell. We could see the problem started, and this doctor was treating her and, not properly.
Hmm.
She was refusing to go to another psychiatrist. So there were very difficult time that was, and she was pacing up and down, not eating anything. Uh, and in the night, she would attack the fridge and take something and eat. And very much disturbed. We would lock the door so that she doesn't go out. I asked the psychiatrist, is there a danger of her attempting suicide? He said, I can't say. 50% chance is there that she might. So that was also a negative answer which he gave. Uh, so then I talked to another psychiatrist, and he told about haloperidol liquid. Serenus was the brand name at that time. So what we did, we sprayed it over the food, and the night when she would open the fridge and eat, then she ate, and then she slept for 2 days, 24 hours sleep, 48 hours she was sleeping. So those were the difficult times that we had. And I suppose to start, that you asked how the journey started. So journey started with these developments, and in Baroda, I met a psychiatrist, left sufficient money with him, and asked him that you please visit her and give her medicines, keep on the treatment. That fellow went only once, and the money which I gave, which was quite a lot, uh, when she came back and this her friend, the senior girl, she asked to return the money. He gave a bill which was more than what money I had kept, and only one visit he had made. So this kind of professionals, unfortunately, we met, and further journey was very turbulent. There were so many bumps, and as aircraft landing has happened now after that very turbulent journey. That is the how it started.
It's it sounds so familiar, the journey. I think quite a few of us also have had similar experiences of, the child dropping out of school or college, and then, being at home and trying not pacing up and down. I think I could relate to a lot of it. So going back to your journey, the treatment you did, the kind of support you did, what do you think you did right, and what were the things you think you could have done differently going now that you understand the subject course so well?
You see, first thing is that there was total ignorance. Didn't know what schizophrenia is. Never heard this name before. Like most of the caregivers, it's the same story even after 3 decades. So uh, we didn't know how to go around. Like the mistake which I made was that when the psychiatrist said, "Okay, no medicines," I should have perhaps taken a second opinion instead of stopping the medicine. Now I know the danger of stopping medicine. At that time, I didn't know. Then sending her to Baroda was another mistake. I should have kept her with us in Bombay. I was so much worried that her year should not be wasted. I mean, her whole life is wasted, so 1 year wasting is nothing. So that was a mistake which was committed. Third was that then I somehow managed to put her in JJ School of Arts, which is a very prestigious institution, and admission is so very, very tough. But somehow I could manage some Hindi quota or something like that. So that was very strenuous for her, although Dean was very helpful, staff was very helpful, teachers were there, some tuition was also arranged for her. So first year she passed, went into second year, and you see, I would take her from my house. First, I had bought a flat in Maladi's, that Rahejas, and later on I moved to this uh, near Haji Ali. Some they
Mahalakshmi.
went their flat, so they gave me the flat. So I was staying there. So I would take her with me in the morning, leave her in the college, attend my office, and her school college was finishing early. So Dean offered to keep her for 2 hours in his home, which was in the campus only. So I would pick her up from there and bring her home. So that routine, 1 year she passed, second year she came, second year was more difficult. So she could not go through, could not pass. So she had to repeat it. And Then my wife uh, went with her for a holiday to her sister's place, and their sister recommended some homeopathy, and they went to her. And when I came to know, I was very much upset. And the homeopathic doctor told them to stop this allopathic medicines. I said, don't do that. When our psychiatrist was very unhappy that why it is being stopped, then she said, no, she is feeling better. Feeling better means those side effects disappeared. So
Correct.
they were happy when my daughter told me, no, this is okay, this is good, I'm feeling better. So when they came back, and then symptoms increased, came back, and then they were talking to this doctor, homeopathic doctor, and he said, I can't give any treatment. You have to come to me. I will have to see her. So there was no treatment again for some time. So that was a very, very serious mistake. And we had put her on clozapine. At that time, it was not available in India. So I used to import from Switzerland. In Switzerland and Austria, where it was first introduced, and it had a Lopax or some such name, brand name, which had at that time, clozapine. So from there we were importing, and it was costing 7,000 rupees one strip. And then we increased the dosage to 200, 250, and still it did not help. Then I came to know about NIMHANS, and NIMHANS went, flew to Bangalore and met them, and they said, you have not tried it enough. You can go up to 800 also. So we went up to 700. Our local psychiatrist was not willing. Then she got seizures. So these are, some of the mistakes which were made unintended. I mean, and I don't hold myself responsible. My ignorance was responsible, and some other players, those psychiatrists, they misguided us.
Correct.
So this is how now I advise all caregivers, ke Baba, don't stop the medication,
Correct.
regularly, and so on. From my mistakes, I want others to learn.
Yes, that is so true. Thank you so much for sharing that, because lot of families do that. They tend to stop the medicine, and then it gets into a, it's a relapse absence, and then it gets more difficult and worse. Yeah, so true. So you being a banker in a very high post, and also your wife were working. So you both were working professionals. I'm sure you'd had a lot of struggles trying to cope with it. So, how did you manage these moments? And I'm sure you had helpless moments. It would have been difficult times. So, how did you manage all the family dynamics and these moments?
See, uh, first thing is that when my daughters.
So, the reason why I'm asking this question to
No,
you
no, no,
also is
no.
because I want the
Yes,
families to
yes,
learn from
yes,
these
yes,
experiences.
yes. And, of course, my office, I was doing my full work, but sometime my daughter would phone. I would be in a meeting with some bank chairman, or some foreign bankers have come, and my wife would phone. So I will not take the phone, and she would talk to my secretary that tell him to come immediately, and she's creating problems. So it was very difficult to leave the meetings, but still I had to leave because he was repeatedly asking. So it was a very awkward position. So I would tell them, okay, I have to go, something others will carry on. So those problems were definitely there. And my wife, then I suggested her to leave her job. She took 1 year leave without pay because somebody has to be in the house with our daughter. And then after that, when her illness continued, then I suggested that she should resign. So she resigned. So our income came to half. Our expenditure increased, and our income decreased. So we managed, we carried on, and I was, of course, a banker, but those salaries were limited, government jobs. So I needed funds. So I left the banking career and joined a private company. Some non-resident Indians from Dubai, they had formed a garment factory, garment and fabric making. So I joined there as managing director, where the income was much more. So from there, 40 kilometers in Ambernath was their factory. So I had bought a house in Chembur then. From Dadar I sold, and Chembur I row house I bought. So from Chembur I was standing there, and from there also sometime emergency call. My neighbor would phone that your daughter is abusing my daughter-in-law. She is standing outside our house. So I would rush. Yeah, I am coming here. So these problems remain, and then you have to find some solution and manage. There is no alternative. There is no help available. Nobody will come and help you in such situations. You have to find your own solutions. So I told them we will leave the house. And in 2007, when I felt that okay, we have enough money and dal roti apna chal jayegi, so I decided to move to Pune, lock, stock and barrel. So I thought Pune has a better environment for my daughter. I uh, I used to look for books on mental illness. So SARS, one book was there in the library. I read that, and there I found the telephone number of the president, Mr. Oak, at that time. So I called him, and he said, "You come for 3 4 days and see him." And I was coming every week and looking for some property. My wife was very keen to have a house with a garden. So, I mean, several months I was coming every week and looking for some property. So we shifted ultimately to Pune. So ultimately, both of us left our jobs, and I was fully looking after full-time caregiver. I became. My wife, of course, she was not able to understand the illness, and so she would get angry and shout at my daughter often that you're not wearing the right clothes, change the clothes. If she would change the clothes, then no, 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 you have not worn the right clothes, again change. Things like that. They had scuffles very often. So the load was all on me to manage things. So that is how we manage. You see, when you are driven to the wall, then somehow you get the strength and you bounce back and you carry on the ship.
So true. I think everybody finds their path on how to tackle these situations. And it's absolutely great that, the way you have taken it forward is absolutely an inspiration to most of us. Yeah. So you've been part of the committee which set up the Mental Health Care Act and many other committees. What do you think drove you with seeing the gaps, both in the medical and the support infrastructure?
You see, when we came to Pune and I started bringing my daughter to the day rehab center. At that time, Sachin would know. They were meeting in Kamla Nehru Hospital. Some 5 6 patients were there. Reshma also was there at that time. So, but they had this building was ready in Diary, and I went to Kamla Nehru Hospital, met them there. They said we have a building now in Diary, and there also we are starting. So I came here, met the people here, and then brought my daughter here. She was not willing to come, so I would bring her. Sometime, the timing was 10 to 4:30. Sometimes she would agree at 2:30. I would keep on telling her, let us go, let us go. So I'll come here just for 1 hour. I was driving from Pashan at that time. My nephew's flat was vacant, so we were staying there. So from Pashan to Dairi, I would bring her just for 1 hour and go back. And, at that time, she was the first one to come to the rehab center. She was the only one. Then one or two more came. And then this Kamla Nehru day rehab was closed, and they all came here. So, sorry, I lost track of your question.
No problem.
You were asking
The gaps in the system, which led
back in the system. Okay. And how I got into this
Mental Health Care Act.
this activism.
Yes.
So, gap in the system, I would say that as far as the health ministry was concerned, fortunately, Minister Desi Raju was the secretary. So he was very much involved into making of this act. And earlier, first was to make amendment. So first time, first meeting was held in Delhi in January, and at that time, this ILS Law College was given this work to do the amendments. So Sumitra Pathare was there, and he had experience of drafting mental health act in some African countries. So he was involved in that. So when the first draft came, uh, then we had a group of some 30, 40 people who were activists, and we were exchanging some views and things like that. Bhargavi Dawat, this Vaishnavi, and Vandana from Benian, and lot many others. This Akila Maheshwari, and all of them were that. Nirmala also was there. So there we discussed it, and I was taking active part in that. That is my way. Wherever I get involved in things, I get involved. So that was appreciated. You see, my inputs were appreciated in that. So the Nirmala arranged one workshop in Bangalore. So I was invited. I went there also, participated in discussions. So then second draft came, and second draft after that again there were discussions and workshops, banyan. So people started inviting me. So some recognition was there for me. And there were regional conferences where I participated. There was national conference where I participated. Then this bill, finally in 2013, it was referred to the Parliament Committee. When the Parliament Committee invited me, so therefore I got involved. Not the intention. I wanted to be a good caregiver to my daughter, but then I became an activist. So there was no problem as far as government was concerned because of Mr. Desi Raju's involvement. Things moved smoothly, and although I was not initially invited in this because people didn't know me at all, but thereafter I got fully involved. Uh, when I was nominated by the government to the institutional committee of NIMHANS, that is the apex body, and then from the members of the apex body, some were put on different committees, and I was made the chairperson of hospital management committee. Now imagine I was the only non specialist of that
In that.
one member was Dr. Thara outside NIMHANS, but she was also a psychiatrist. And of course, MPs were there. Two MPs were there. That Mr. Khadge was also in that committee, and he came 2-3 times to attend the meetings. And first time I told the director that let him preside the meeting. I will not do that. Let us give him the honor. So we requested him to sit there, but he didn't sit. He said, no, no, no. I get you sit on there and you preside. Even when we have meetings in our party, and when I am to preside, then Madam never agrees to sit and preside. But there were, gaps. You mentioned about gaps. I found several gaps in NIMHANS, and we tried to cover up those gaps. I mean, to give you an example, there was used to be so much rush in OPD. Uh, these patients from all over India, from northeast, from north, from west, everywhere patients would come, and they would form queues in the evening itself. The whole night they would remain in the queue, hundreds of them. They would, their families would make meal, cook meal also there on the ground. So that was a very pitiable condition. So then I advised that let us introduce that coupon system. So we started giving them coupons and giving the time that between 10 and 11 you come, 11 to 12 you come, that there is no crowding, they don't have to wait outside in the queue. And the sitting arrangements were there, but they would come very early and there were not adequate chairs for them to sit. Then there was a cafeteria. So I suggested let us move this cafeteria. So another building was constructed and cafeteria was moved there. And this old place for cafeteria that was also converted into waiting area. So that cafeteria, if you happen to go there, you will find that I was asked to cut the ribbon and that plaque is there mentioning that I inaugurated it. So like that, there were some improvements which we brought about. I had to work very hard because the agenda, all there were items about which I didn't have any knowledge, and equipments were to be purchased, some other decisions were to be taken. So I would prepare myself, go very well prepared, and conduct the meeting.
And fantastic. I think the change which you have brought about, to start with, I think it's really difficult to articulate with words what process you guys have started from that time onwards. So moving on to from there, you started moving on to SA, and then from a volunteer and a caregiver, you took up the leadership roles. So, what kind of changes that you brought in SA,
Yes.
from patient engagement to creating the day rehab center, and you still continue to do at this age? So, what motivates you?
See, I had never thought that I would become an activist like this.
Ha.
As I mentioned, my focus was my daughter and whatever I was reading and acquiring knowledge so that I could be a good caregiver. So when I came to Saad, I would come, bring my daughter, and the whole day I would sit reading some book or something. Then I told them that I sit here the whole day, I can help you. I can teach English to the patients who come. I can do your correspondence, some work I can do. So they were reluctant to give me any work, but later on, another thing, you see, the whole day they were here, and I said, you don't have even a cup of tea here, the whole staff, I told them. So they said, we go home and have it. I mean, obviously, there was no arrangement for their tea, coffee, and they would bring their lunch and have it here. So I talked to the president. I said, as an experiment or as a project, my daughter and I, we will make tea for them. So he agreed. So I went to this big bazaar. So I bought from single road, this old utensils, crockery, and tea, sugar, everything I bought and brought, and started making tea with the help of my daughter. We would give it to the staff and to the patients who were coming. So that project we started, and then when SARS founder, who's Canada-based, he came, and then I had a chat with him, gave some suggestions that what can be done to improve the working of the SAR. So it seemed he was quite impressed, and he said that you should take more active role and become our trustee. And he told the president that I should be invited for the trustees meetings. And when there is a next election, then I should be made a trustee. So that happened, and then our president at that time, Mr. O, he said that he wants to retire because his wife was suffering from dementia and he had to attend to her. So suddenly he phoned me and he said, Dr. Vani wants to speak to you. So I took the phone and he said, Mr. Oak is retiring and we want you to take over as president. How can I take president all of a sudden? First, I become a trustee, then you make me some joint secretary or vice president. There are so many senior people who have been working as trustees for so many years. So they will not be happy if this is done. So it's better that you induct me slowly and then I move up the ladder if I do good work. So he said, no, don't worry, and seniority is not important. It is the ability and your experience as an administrator which is important. And I will talk to them and everything will be all right. So I consented, the founder was saying. So he told everybody that he has selected me to take over as president. I took over. Of course, people were not happy. I can understand their resentment. So that is how I got involved into SARS activities, and we brought a lot of improvements, arranged some funds, and in the infrastructure we developed and activities we introduced. In those 9 years I was president, then because of my growing years, I said I will relinquish it. People said, why you are leaving? And I said, no, we made a succession plan. But who will take? We tried to identify people who can take over. So I left after 9 years. But in these 9 years, SA was known at the national level. I mean, earlier SA was just limited to Pune. So we, our activities, and I was participating in so many events all over the country. And I was involved with a project where WHO people were also involved. So they also came to know about SA, and SA became known. And then when I was selected for this by the government for NIMHANS position, then of course everybody came to know about SA. SA was a name all over India. So that is how I got into this activism, and I held position in SA. And then because of my own work and all, it was recognized, and I was given those important positions in demands. So that's how it was.
Excellent, excellent. The journey is, I think, is very. It has made you very happy. I think
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'll just now hand it over to Sachin.
Yes.
Sachin can take over. We have questions on how you manage with stigma, and reflect upon questions which people generally ask is, what after us, etc. Over to you, Sachin.
Yeah, thank you, Saraswati. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, there was some internet interruption. I think it's been a very inspiring journey, and I think you have seen a lot of pain, struggle, and the entire journey has been uh, a journey of a father who actually has not only looked at individually at the person who's getting treatment, but also trying to look at the system of how actually we can deliver better care. So my next question would be, how do you personally approach conversations about stigma, especially with extended family, colleagues, or friends?
You see, first thing is that if you don't believe in stigma and you tell people that it is not a stigma, there is a physical illness and there is a mental illness. As we don't hide the physical illness, we don't have to hide the mental illness. Then you have to set an example. I mean, I know people who are very active in this field, but they hide the illness, their own illness, or the illness in their families. So, first thing was that, frankly, I mean, I would not go out of the way to tell about my daughter's illness, but people would come to the house, some friends and some guests, and my daughter would be there. I never asked her to sit in the other room or anything. She would come and sit with us, and they would ask her, "Okay, what are you doing? Where are you working?" So she would, of course, give some answer that I am a volunteer in SA and I'm teaching English to the. After I uh, became an office bearer, I stopped and I encouraged her to teach English to the. So she would tell about that and all. And then I would add to that she is not keeping good health, so she is not working anywhere. She is at home only. And if they ask her, "Hey, Aksha, what is the problem?" And then I will tell them that she has mental illness and she's living with paranoid schizophrenia. So I'll tell them, I mean, never. And whenever see, lots of people were interviewing me and they were writing articles on me. So they will take photographs. So I would always say that my daughter will be with me in the photographs. So you see, you have to set an example, and then only you can tell. I mean, there is an example, and very often it is given with different names. When somebody went to a saint and said that my this son eats too many sweets, and please tell him not to eat so many sweets. And he said, "Come 2 days later," and then 2 days later he said, "Beta, it's not good to eat sweets so many. So you don't take every day, you know." So then that his disciple said, "You could have told it 2 days before also." Then he said, I was also fond of sweets. So that would not have done. So like this, I always informed people, not out of their way to go and inform. It was not a boasting, but it was never hidden. And I believe that if awareness increases, stigma decreases. So there has to be a lot of awareness, and automatically it will be reduced. The stigma will be less, and awareness has to be created. People should read about what mental illness is. Once they read it, and because the percentage of people with the mental illness is one in four, WHO says, and in India also the percentage is the same, slightly higher. People hide it, so in census this does not come, but actually the number is same, one in four. I mean, the study which NIMHANS had done that revealed that 150 million people are mentally ill, and then Lancet had done a study where the figure was 200 million, and then COVID came, and IPS study said that there is an increase of 20%, then second wave, another. So it's a huge number, huge number. So people are hiding. So that they should come out of it. And then infrastructure has to be developed. So stigma is less, I would say that. I have been a caregiver for 34 years now, and I find that the people talk about it. And see, earlier people were going to priests and temples and shrines. Now that is not happening. At least in urban areas, they go straight to the psychiatrist. Earlier, it was that if you go to the psychiatrist, people will come to know that there is a problem. So that is not happening, and awareness campaigns should be there. Our organization name is Schizophrenia Awareness Association. So we do it in a big way, this awareness campaigns. And the book which I wrote, and which second edition, third edition, now I'm not able to find time and upload down. Otherwise, that also would have been brought home. So it has been sold. We have Hindi edition, English edition, second edition in English, then Marathi, and then Tamil. So that way we can create awareness, and so many people have interviewed me. Hindustan Times, when it appeared, then so many people phoned and wanted to discuss. And recent Reader Digest, when it appeared, that time also lots of people came to know about it. And very recently, I had forgotten also when I was interviewed. I don't know, but it was put on Instagram. So some 20,000 people have seen that, and hundreds of people have written to me about that. Some appreciating it and thanking me, and somebody wants help. And whenever I get a message, I always respond to it. So I was tired responding to those messages. So this is all way to create awareness. No? So I don't say no to any interview or all, because it helps in creating awareness. So I suppose in another 2-3 decades, stigma will be minimal. That's how I have tried to reduce stigma, and that is how I perceive it.
Yeah, no, thank you, sir. I think this has been very inspiring. What would be the key insights with respect to your book you want every caregiver to take away?
Sorry, what is the question? Insights.
What are the insights with respect to your book you would want every caregiver to take away?
You see, my book is basic knowledge and information sharing. People don't know what mental illness is. So, what mental illness is, types of mental illnesses, and all those details have been given. So, it is a sort of guide for them. And then how to deal with the various situations. See, if patient is very aggressive, how will you handle it? Patient doesn't want to take medicines, how will you handle that situation? Patient is not listening to anything. So various situations, how those situations have to be can be handled. So it is basically a guide. I mean, they can become better caregivers. They can handle problems in a better way, and they can gain knowledge about the illness. So that way it is helpful. But instead of calling it a guide for caregivers, we are just given a helping mental illness and caregiving. So I suppose it will be helpful if somebody keeps a copy with him, reads it 2-3 times, and then whenever there is some situation and they don't know how to handle that situation, they can find some information useful to them in the book.
Oh, no, thank you, sir. I think it's been very inspiring with your journey starting with what you have addressed in the beginning of your early caregiver journey, and then your entire experiences which you have shared. Then Saraswati mentioned about the Mental Health Care Act and your work in the NIMHANS board. Then about like starting as a caregiver and then working as a president, and then growing leadership as a daycare rehab center, and your entire writing of the book and the current journey and mission which you are doing, where you are taking people and advising them, and your right now your journey on where you on Instagram you reply to people. So that's been a very enriching journey. So Any last message or which you want to convey to us, to people, to families, uh, so that they can understand mental health disorders in a better manner and address them more constructively as they go ahead?
Yes, I think if I have to give a message to the caregivers, then I would say that you keep on uh, complaining or showing your worry and concern, what after us, but you're not doing anything about it. Just you are talking about it, your problem, but you are not trying to do anything to solve the problem. That has been my experience, and I feel very bad about it. Um, Now, what after us means first thing is your financial arrangements you have to make. What arrangements you have made about that? I mean, some talks also I have given. I have written it in my book also, that what arrangement. Sometimes people go for 1% more interest is there, so we will invest there. So I tell them that security is more important than that 1%. So all kind of guidance I try to give them. So whether they act upon that, I think some of them do, but most of them don't. So they carry on in their own way. And when the time comes for them to go, then things remain the same. They don't make a will, they don't appoint any guardian. Of course, guardian ship, that limited guardianship is of no use. It is a toothless provision. So, but still, if there is a single child and if there are no siblings, then some arrangement has to be made. Somebody has to provide support, because the people, even if they are in remission, these patients, still they will need support. They cannot function independently. Uh, so help will be required, and most of them will not be able to handle finances. They have forgotten how to operate a bank account, and they are not fooled. You know, somebody doesn't take away their money; they make them sign somewhere, and then uh, deprive them all savings which the parents have left for them. So those arrangements have to be made in lifetime, and you can't say that abhi to time hai, we are just entered our 60s, so we will do that. It is never too early to make these arrangements. You never know when the call will come. So that has to be done by the parents. Finances, then living arrangement. And these days, you know, you can't expect siblings to look after your child with mental illness. So you have to do something. You know, most of them say that we have our own lives, we have our own children, and in fact, they don't want their children to meet their sibling with mental illness. They say it will have a bad effect on them. Their spouses don't want them to get involved with their family member with mental illness. So parents have to make all the arrangements, the living arrangements. Now, living arrangements, you see, those who are very rich, they can have any arrangement. That's not a problem. Those who are very poor, for them there is nothing. I mean, what financial arrangements they can make? They live hand to mouth. So every day they work, and what they earn, they have their food from there. So nothing. They don't have to make any arrangements. But it is the middle class. You know, this upper middle class, and lower middle class. So they have to make arrangements, and lower middle class are particularly, see, they are in difficulty, because these private homes are very expensive. So their minimum charges are 40,000, and with more medicine, psychiatrists, and all, it becomes 50,000. So their whole salary, monthly salary is 60,000 or so. So from where will they bring 50,000? 5,000. For them, some arrangements. Actually, I'm quite worried on this that what will happen to those people. So we in SAS started doing something for them. When I became the president in 2010 and 2011, we started taking parents to see the places, talk to builders, talk to other NGOs who were willing to construct homes for them where the families could live. So and then they said, we don't know them, how can we trust them and leave money with them? And we had some FSI available in our campus. So we said, okay, you trust us? Yes, we trust. So we said, okay, we will build it here and some families can stay here with us. So they were happy. So we said, okay, you give 5,000 as your commitment that you are interested. So they gave some 12, 13 people gave 5,000 each. And then we called an actuarian and asked him to calculate and we subsidized. We said, okay, you give 15 lakhs for life. And all your boarding, lodging, cost of medicine, everything will be borne by us. Just give us 15 lakhs. And those who are elderly people, they may give less than 15 lakhs because their lifespan would be less. And those who are younger, they may need to pay a little more instead of 15, 16, 17 lakhs. So that was a very good offer. And we drew the plans, got them approved, and now we said we are going to start construction. So you give us 2 lakhs each. So only 2 people came for it. So we then dropped the whole idea. And then 2 years back, again we started. We took a place and we worked out that no profit, no loss basis, it will cost some 15,000 per month, which was very reasonable compared to that 40,000 which private residential facilities are charging. So, but only 2 people came, and our this establishment cost was 50,000 per month, only establishment cost. So then, with the help of Bunyan, we took patients who were discharged from the hospital, but they had nowhere to go, government hospitals. So we kept them, and then some CSR funds were available, and 9,000 per patient was being given. So you see, they have to take interest, and now we have this. What is that? This Ratan NGO in Chandigarh. They have started some facility there, and then that Sumanna is there. So they should start associating themselves with those projects. No? We are not doing, and in Pune we have a very good project which Paranjpe have started, full infrastructure. See, they are builders and they have a lot of money with them, so they have started building a tower with the 140 flats for families. They can come and live there, and they have provision for another 140 flats. And I am told out of those 140 flats, 120 are already booked, but not by people with mental illness. They are people with autism and this cerebral palsy and Down syndromes and mentally challenged. Those people have taken it. So I had talked to this Paranjpe group and said that you must keep some flats for people with severe mental disorders. So if we talk to them, I think FAME can definitely take this initiative and take it forward. Nobody else will take any such initiative. They will only talk about it, but they will not act. So you people are acting, and I think in Maharashtra, very active role you people are playing. So if FAME takes it forward, of course that is expensive. That is upper middle class only can afford that. And what they are doing is They have flats, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and one bedroom will be for the patient. Patient has to live independently. One patient gets used to the environment. Then there is a hostel. The patient can be shifted to the hostel. Patient can come every day and meet the parents. Parents can go and meet the patient. So it is easy to get used to that environment, and they want trust to be formed. A nominal amount you can form a trust, and when parents are gone, parents are not there, then a flat which they have purchased can be sold, and the proceeds can be uh, put in that corpus fund which has been created, and the trust that has been formed, and the income from that will be used for that patient who is left alone without his family. It's a very, very good scheme, and some two organizations are involved, but they are both associated with autism patients. So I think we can seriously consider, and those who can afford, at least they should shift there. It will be a commune of people with this brain-related disabilities. Physical disabilities they are not taking, and so such things people should make use of it. You see, that is this is my message. Please, please make use of these facilities. If you go without making a will and without making any arrangements, then your dear one will be in trouble. So that is the message which I want to give. And secondly, of course, don't hide the illness. It is like physical illness, mental illness. So share it with everybody. In our organization in SA, I developed an admission form in which it is stated that we don't believe in stigma, and our family member who is coming here for admission, if any pictures are taken and a group photograph or they are doing some work, we have no objection to it, and we have been assured by SA that these uh, pictures and all will be used only for educational purpose, not for any commercial purpose. So we take pictures. When I came here, then they were hiding. No, no, take picture from a distance. Face should not be visible. I said nothing doing. Why face should not be visible? They are having some health issues, so it's okay. We are using it for creating awareness. We are showing that what work can they do and how this treatment will help them. So that is what I want to convey through you to the caregivers.
Yeah. Oh, sir, no. I think that's been wonderful actually to show a reflection from a journey of isolation to what you are today. And just I and Saraswati just wanted to thank you for your time. And I would request Saraswati to give the closure remarks. So thank you, very great gratitude for the journey you have undertaken and where you are right now.
Thank you so much, Amritji, and an absolute amazing message to our families, caregivers. I think that was absolutely on point. Making financial living arrangements, doing the will, and basic things which we don't want to take care of, and just leave our dear ones to cope up afterwards. Thank you so much, and we totally appreciate for your time, sir.
Thank you.